So with the honey K,
Yeah.
I'm doing what I came to do,
Okay.
which is
Hey, so I know you've heard of the brand Louis Vuitton, and I know you also know about Fendi, but have you heard about Flaws of Couture? Well, if you haven't, you're about to. Welcome to the BG Show. I'm your host, BG, and before we go any further, I need you to subscribe to this channel right now, tap that notification bell, and make sure to follow us across all of our social media. So for today, I want you to meet Sasha. She's actually the founder of Flaws of Couture, and it's a Canadian fashion brand that's taking over the industry by storm. And she's doing it by breaking barriers and embodying what it means to never stop, and more importantly, to never settle. Don't believe me? Just take a look at this. Yup, that is Khloe Kardashian giving Sasha the stamp of approval. For this Hennessy conversation, meet my friend, Sasha.
The winner of the SHEIN X 100K challenge is
Sasha, I feel like this is a homecoming.
I know. Like they're not ready.
No!
They really are.
But have they ever been ready?
They've never been ready.
Get ready.
I mean,
Can we do a quick cheers to you?
yes. Cheers.
Cheers. That's lovely. That's lovely. Thanks
Very
for coming
nice.
on the show.
Thank you for having me.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I mean, I should probably come out and tell everybody. Like, let's be transparent. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be transparent with you
Yeah.
guys. It's not like I just know, like, Sasha from yesterday. I know Sasha from yesterday.
Yes.
Like-
From yesterday.
Like, yeah.
Like, yesterday. Clearly too well.
But, you know, from high school, to put it out there.
Yeah.
And it's what a journey it's been to see, you know, where you started from and where you brought Flaws of Couture has been amazing. I think my first question to you, and for people who might not know who Flaws of Couture is, which you're gonna know now, where did you get that name from, and why did you decide to, you know, start your brand with that name?
So Flaws of Couture, it kind of just wraps everything that I am up. You know, I've always felt very high fashion and couture, and I always wanted to take part in fashion and high fashion, to be specific, right? So, you know, when I came up with Flaws of Couture, it was because I was hearing so many people in the high fashion industry saying, you know, women don't want to see plus size women on the runway. They want to see who they want to be on the runway. And that was really triggering for me, to kind of embrace what people think of as your flaws and just make it rock, make it pop. That's when life gets exciting.
Make a drop.
Make it drop. What you mean?
I'm here. Can we
Can
do
we
another?
cheers to make it
Can we do
drop?
another? Listen,
Cheers.
I love to dip it and do it. Eh? And that's the other thing. Like, you are about body positivity. You check all your social medias, you know, TikTok even as well. Like, you give that message of like owning who you are. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But we got to start from, like, you know, the beginning.
Yeah.
Starting a fashion line in Canada, like, that's kind of inconceivable when you really think about it. Because how many people actually attempt to do that? Not many.
Not many. Not many, yeah. Not many.
And
if
you own
they-
that lane.
Yeah. Do you think so?
100%.
Wow. I'm so glad you feel that way.
Well, I think there's a lot of women out there and people out there who were looking for somebody who they could say embodies who they were and said it's okay to be who you are and not be what we grew up seeing on television, which was just one stereotype.
I think we need to realize that just as there's the opposite side that's going to stand the test of time, and there always going to try and get you to compare yourself to others, we need to align with that and pretty much push against it consistently and stand the test of time and consistently tell young people that, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. Every time you are comparing yourself to someone, to something, to a job, to whatever it may be, you are going to rob yourself of the actual joy that is your birthright.
So what was it like in the early days for you, starting this?
In the early days, so I had a partner who I love very much, and we had started out and we were kind of just pushing the message. We were both plus size, shout out to Garcia, and you know, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. Like social media was just on the rise, Instagram had just begun. And so we kind of just wanted to go in there and be an example to girls, you know, the example that we didn't have. It was tough. We put pieces out and they kind of went viral. Had a sweater. I started off with a sweater that said "pretty for a big girl" with a question mark. And I'm still asking with a question mark because I don't understand how people go around to people and be like, "Oh, you're so pretty for a big girl." What the hell does that mean?
What does that mean?
It's just people's way of saying that they think that you are pretty despite you being fat, despite you being the most terrible looking thing ever. You're pretty. Like, you know, it's such a backhanded compliment, and really it has nothing to do with the plus size person. It has everything to do with the person who just couldn't see themselves that way.
One day there's gonna be an exclamation mark.
Technically, no. Right? It would just be "you're pretty."
Oh,
period.
Makes even more sense to me.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty period.
Yes.
Right? Because I don't want
period. Pretty period poo.
I mean, if you want to put the poo in, if you gotta put the poo in, pretty period poo.
Woo! Sasha's coming in hot. Listen, we have more with her, but first, I need you to subscribe to this channel, tap that notification bell, and don't forget to follow us across all of our social media. So how did you take it from a decade ago? Because a lot of people will look at you now, they see you hanging out with Khloe Kardashian, she loving your work, she giving you cheek, kiss.
Kiss.
But it's not an easy road to get to that.
No, it's not an easy road at all. So that's what's so interesting, is because with social media, you can have people come in a year ago or come in 6 months ago or 2 months ago, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, how'd this girl get here? She probably knows someone." And it's like, honey, I don't know nobody, okay? I am the type that had to work. Like, I had to work my ass off. I was a server. I served and I bust my ass for 10, almost 11 years. I served tables in order to invest in my business. Every collection that I've dropped up until this point has been off of server dollars and server wage, right? So a lot of people need to realize is that, like, it's a hustle. You know, I would put things out and I would hope that it would just get in front of the right people. And, you know, you try and send it out to people, you get, you know, you have your loyal customers and supporters who purchase and buy and show up and show out, and then eventually something happens. And I think this whole Khloe situation was one of my eventually. Khloe, thank you.
Happy for you.
Thank you for all your help. Thank you for
This is all you. And let me, how you walk that runway? Stop it.
You would have thought I was a model, huh?
Oh, you are.
But there is a $100,000 check behind you, and you know.
Okay.
I am a little bit brazen with my questions.
You light.
So, I mean,
It's okay.
is that going to an investment account? We going on a little trip?
So with that 100K,
Yeah.
I'm doing what I came to do, which is invest in my business.
Talk to me
right?
nice.
So that I don't have to serve tables in Brampton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
Right? So I'm definitely going to invest in Flaws of Couture. I'm not thinking of this as vacation money, to be very honest. In my mind, it belongs to this baby here, right? Because we gotta flip that 100K to $1 million, right?
Ooh. I was thinking 100 mil.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
So what was it like meeting Khloe? Like, is she just as nice in person?
She's amazing.
Because she has a big Brampton connection.
She does.
Which, by the way, people may not know, but Sasha's from Brampton.
Big up.
A lot of people from Brampton, eh?
A lot of people from Brampton are kicking it right now. We out here. Out here.
Like sitting here.
Sitting in here. Okay? Period. Poo.
So I know you had an interesting start with SHEIN. Did you want to get into that a little bit?
So how did you get introduced to SHEIN?
We had a little mishap.
Oh no, what happened?
One day I woke up and I saw one of the pieces that I had designed and put out years before on SHEIN's site. We can talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so we can just dip our toes into
Just
it.
a little bit.
Well, because you've been doing your thing over the years, and your styles were getting a lot of traction. I mean, you can see a bit of your styles here. I mean, you've had so many over the years.
Yeah, many.
And you had to use your voice
Yeah.
to ensure that you were seen and that you were recognized and that your talents were recognized. Were you ever scared to call out that situation?
You know what? No, I think I was just really, I was frustrated in the moment. But eventually, with speaking with them, speaking with the team on the back end, I was totally blown away by how they helped me figure it out, how they listened to me. And so in my mind, once I know better, like I do better. So when it happens with a company that is so open to saying, hey, like, my bad.
Yeah.
Let me make this right. Let me explain to you how this happened. Then, I'm not going to pretend like I don't understand.
Yeah.
As a businesswoman, I understood it on a business level. I understood how it could happen and I moved on.
Yeah.
And thank God I chose to move on.
I'd love to know, do you feel like you're getting the respect you deserve and recognition in this country?
In this country.
In Canada. And I ask that because a lot of times when artists make it big, anybody who's in the artwork, whether you're a musician, designer, you name it, you have to go to the States to go get that recognition. Do you feel like you're getting the recognition you deserve?
When I'm on the streets and I'm with the people, yes. It's a tricky space. I think Canada lacks when it comes to, supporting their creatives, supporting their artists, supporting just people who are in the creative industry on a whole. And I think that's why we're so behind with everything. And the thing is about it is I would love to stay here.
Yeah.
I would love to.
The fact that your face lights up when you talk about that
Oh my
says
God.
something.
I would love to stay here. The States is very much a place to visit.
Yeah.
I'ma just say that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to make it home. No shade. No tea, no shade. I want to be here. I want to raise a family, but I also don't want to sacrifice my growth being here.
Listen, we got so much more to get into with Sasha, but before we go any further, I need you to subscribe to this channel, tap that notification bell, and don't forget to follow us across all of our social media. You know what I always wondered? Where do you get the inspiration for your designs? How do you keep that creative juices flowing?
So I kind of just, again, just go with how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I love a sporty vibe, but it's very rare that you get that really sporty-esque type vibe with plus size because people don't affiliate, they don't put those two together. They're like, you a fat girl, there's no way you're athletic, which is a lie.
What? Some people are just big bone.
Period. Poo.
Sasha, you're someone who clearly never stops and is not here to settle, but what advice do you have to younger people who kind of want to replicate what you've done?
One thing for me is just stay the course. That is my one thing that I say to all the people who ask me for advice. Stay the course. Stay the course, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. I can't say that enough because if you give up, you're never going to see what you wanted to see. You have to stay the course. That's really what it is.
You said you're going to be designing a new line. Is there any little bit of tea you can drop on us?
A little bit of tea. A goal of mine is to show at New York Fashion Week.
Okay.
It seems, in my mind, almost unattainable.
I was just about to say, that's not impossible.
Which means that I have to do it,
Right.
right? Because if your dreams are not scaring you, you're not dreaming big enough, right? This scares me. In my mind, I'm like, oh, Sasha, who are you to be at Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week to be exact. But that just means that I'm gonna be at New York Fashion Week, period.
Okay. So last question for you, and I've been really excited to ask you this question, but if you could look back 10 years ago and talked to Sasha, who was just graduating from Mayfield, what advice would you give her?
I would tell her, take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time and enjoy it. Smell the roses. Don't push too far ahead that you forget that you prayed for all of this, right? That's what I would tell her, because I got really caught up just trying to push through my 20s, like trying to like do everything that I possibly could as if I was on this time constraint, because we were really taught to believe that like your 20s is, that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's, you got to do it all now and it has to be great and you got to be the best. It's your prime. It's a lie. I got to 30 and I said, shit.
you here?
It feels good up in here.
Yeah.
Like it feels really good.
No, but seriously, Sasha, pleasure, honor.
Pleasure is mine.
I can't wait to continue to watch, to see you continue to flourish, and for Flaws of Couture to be worldwide.
Thank you.
Like worldwide.
Thank you. I received that. I received that. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel, and listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.